Lately, I have been reading this book to bed. It's called The Journal of Solitude. And the thing about this book is it's very dull, so it puts me right to sleep. I read a few paragraphs and I'm dead, I'm gone. And also, it has changed my dreams. I'm no longer having dreams about Caesar from Planet of the Apes chasing me down my hometown streets, even though I haven't seen my hometown in like a decade at this point. But anyway, and the other thing about this book is that I'm also like disappointed. I was expecting like a real like hermit, a real like lady hermit doing hermit things, but she has like a lot of social interaction in this book, so I'm disappointed. But every now and then, while I'm falling asleep to her describing her garden in detail, I'll read a line and I'll be like, oh my god, did I write this? Like, what's happening? For a long time now, every meeting with another human being has been a collision. I feel too much, sense too much, I'm exhausted by the reverberations after even the simplest conversation. And it's not even just like the act of having the conversation with the person, it's also the fact that I have one of those brains that insist on analyzing the conversation word for word, you know, over analyzing a conversation word for days afterwards for no reason. I feel like an inadequate machine, a machine that breaks down at crucial moments, grinds to a dreadful halt, won't go, or even worse, explodes in some innocent person's face. I'm reading another book when I'm awake, when I'm like not trying to fall asleep, called Burnout. And the main point of that book is that you need to release all of those tensions through exercise or like extended physical contact with someone you love and trust, with people you love and trust, or like imagining in great detail, bludgeoning to death the people who are causing you all of the stress that you're under. And I feel like that's more practical advice for someone like me, who is not like forthcoming with their feelings and stuff, compared to like the advice that they usually give you, like, oh, you need to talk to somebody, you know, you can't just keep it in. And it's like, bro, if I could do that, I would. So do that, and that will stop the annual blowing up in someone's face who doesn't deserve it. Whatever peace I know rests in the natural world, in feeling myself a part of it, even in a small way. Square brackets, I was open from the inside out, unprepared for kindness and understanding such as they showed. Here, the inner person is the outer person. It is what I want, but that does not make me any less absurd. Now, the difference between me and May is that I don't want that. I hate being known. I hate when you reach that stage with people where they know you and they can like accurately predict your behavior and feelings. But at the same time, I like forming deep emotional bonds, platonic bonds with other people, and in order to get there, you have to let them know you have to open up, you have to let them dissect you, and that is always painful and difficult in a way that is just inexplicable. Like, I don't even know how to describe how difficult that is, but you know, I relate to feeling absurd. Here's like classic, you know, introvert stuff. She goes on about things that she doesn't like, which I agree with: pretentiousness, smugness, all of that. And then she says, I hate small talk with a passionate hatred. I'm a part of the introvert squad, but like I don't get this like deep hatred for small. I understand if it's like talking about the weather, because talking about the weather, you cannot take that conversation anyway. But small talk is a means to an end. It's like, hey, how are you? Fine, thanks, new, cool. What did you do this weekend? Guess what? You are now having a deep conversation about rugby or flags, or how New Zealand and Australia should change their flags because they're like ugly or something, you know? Like, it's just a means to an end. Here she explains why, and this I can relate to. Why? I suppose because any meeting with another human being is collision for me now. It is always expensive, and I will not waste my time. I will make every effort to find out the real person, but if I can't, then I am upset and across. Time wasted as poison. That's also true. Like, if the small talk does not end up leading to like an actual, you know, conversation where you like learn something interesting about the person you're talking to, like the fact that they like rugby, even if you don't like rugby, then it does feel like a waste of time. If it's just like, hey, how are you? Fine, thanks, you, cool. It's like, why did you start a conversation with me? Anyway, that's basically the book. She's isolated herself. It's not real isolation, disappointing, but it's not, to like write and stuff. So she talks about how much she's written that day. She talks about how depressed she is that day. She talks about the people she's spoken to. She talks about her garden and the gardening that she's done, and you know, they have this wine with this thing. I suspect that these past few nights I have been reading the same paragraph over and over again, so I'm not making any progress and I don't think I'm gonna finish this.